We think we own the money in our bank accounts, but we don't. The banks own the money. We've lent it to them. We think we own the shares in our brokerage accounts or our retirement pensions, but we don't. We've lent those shares to the securities dealers, right? So what I'd like to do, as somebody who's interested in freedom and property rights, I'd like to be able to have those property rights go back to the people who actually own the assets, as opposed to having someone else own those assets in your name, and then you have an IOU from those counterparties. So that is actually very much a part of my passion in this technology, is giving assets back to the people who rightfully own them and taking out all this counterparty risk that was introduced into the system because the technology didn't exist to settle this huge volume of transactions. So, for example, it used to be that instead of settling millions of transactions a day, the banks would all settle up with each other, so they maybe only would settle a dozen transactions a night. They'd net all of their transactions, right? That made it easier, but it created this counterparty risk and these layers of intermediaries that exist in the financial services industry. They don't need to exist anymore because we have the technology to settle all of those millions of transactions gross, if you will, instead of having to net them and then have the institutions settle on their netted amounts against each other.